Hi, Alex here from Rebeloper.com and welcome to the first episode of our Christmas calendar. And we are going to start it off, you guessed it, with Firebase's Firestore, and we are going to talk about Facebook login. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we have a lot to talk about here, but before we do, let me just show you what we are going to build out with our Firebase Firestore and Facebook login. So I have already built out this testing Firestore auth. So I am just going to run this. And of course, we need to set it up. In this first tutorial, we are going to download the starter project, then set up Firebase's part, set up Facebook's part, and we are going to add some Cocoapods, and hopefully we will add the helper helper folder that I have created just for this case. Okay, now it is running, and I will just move this over here and make it a little larger so you may see it. So this is our welcome screen, and as in all good apps, you need a welcome screen as a blocker for users to sign up, and we are going to log in with Facebook. So let's just click on that. It says login with Facebook, and it's asked us to allow the app and website to share information about us. So let's click on continue there. It is bringing up the facebook.com page. We will hit continue now, and we are logging in with Facebook. Of course, if you haven't logged in with the app, then you will be asked to log in. Otherwise, it is just a push of a button and it says successfully logged in with Facebook. So this is our home screen, and you could add anything here. Basically, major apps have a home screen, and of course, we need to have a profile screen too. So here it is, a user profile. It is fetching the user. It has successfully fetched the user. And here we have our name, our email address, and the UID that is used in the Firebase's Firestore backend. I believe I will just call it Firestore from now on. So here we have our fetch user button, and we will talk about that later on, because not every time you want to just fetch everything, let's say the user profile. So I have put a button in there, and of course we have our sign out button, and it asks us to, do we really want to sign out? And yes, we do. So once we do get signed out, the welcome screen pops up, and I can see a typo here. So let me just change that real quickly. Here we go. It is welcome with a double L. Okay. So let us just jump right into the code and see the starter project. Yes, because we do have a starter project. Let me just stop this here and go ahead. First of all, download the resources. Click the link below and download the resources for this episode, and you will hopefully get these resources. So the Spark folder, and there are some files that I will go through in a later lesson. But for now, what you want to know here is this starter project, and go ahead and open it and copy it out. Open up Google Chrome. So I will just open up a new window here, and let me just paste that in there, and this is the starter project. Go ahead and clone it or download it, open it in Xcode or download it as a zip file. Either way will do. Now take a look at the branch, because it is starter. Of course, this link will take you to the starter project, and we will have a final project too, but not just yet because I am currently making it. So not the master go ahead and download the starter project. Now, once you do that, you will be presented, and I will just go ahead and jump right into the code here. You will have a Firestore auth folder, a Firestore auth Xcode project, and no pod file or pods or this Xcode workspace. Again, you will have a pod file, just so you know, you will have a pod file, and what you need to do now is open up terminal. So let's open up terminal here and type in cd. Let me just make that a little larger so you can see what I'm typing in here. So cd, and go to your Finder and just simply drag and drop the root folder of your project. Okay, go back to terminal, hit return, and you are inside your root folder of the project. What you want to do, not type in pod in it because the pod file is already created. Just type in pod install. Okay, and that will install all of the needed dependencies. Of course, I already have them installed, but all of these will be in a green for you. Okay, and you should get a clear result here. And let us just go back. Now, once you do this, let's just go back to Xcode, or rather yet to Finder. So once you do that, you will have all of these files and folders added for you. Now, from now on, you will be working in this Xcode workspace. So let us just open up that. Let me just make this bigger and see what we have here. And well, I already have this, but if you build and run, you will get these errors. Now, why are these errors occurring? Well, that is because we still need to add the Spark folder. So let's just simply drag and drop that into our project. Now the Spark folder, and let me just drag and drop it and I will talk about it. Let's hit, make sure that you select create groups and copy items if needed is checked, and of course your target is checked. Makes sense. And click on finish. Okay, and there you go. So the Spark folder holds some Spark, or rather yet, let me just delete this first. Okay, let's move to trash, and let me just create a new branch from this starter project. So, okay, it will be final. Let's create that. And the final is now the current branch, and now I will drag and drop in this Spark folder. So the Spark folder is about simplifying this Facebook login process, and I believe in the next tutorials I will go deeper into what these files are and I will explain everything. But for now, just know that these are helper files for us, and they will be used to log in with Facebook with the help of Firebase's Firestore easily. So we are going to authenticate with just a few lines of code. Okay, so what do we need next? Well, first of all, we need to create, this is fine and dandy. Let us just hit build here, Command B, and everything should work fine. But of course, this is not a project. We still need to have our Firebase app and our Facebook app. So let's do that now. And I will just minimize this, maybe this test one too, and the terminal. And let us just go now to firebase.google.com, because first of all, we want to create our Firebase app. Select go to console here, and let us add a new project. So click on add project. Let's have this project name, let's say Firestore Auth, because we are authenticating with Firebase's Firestore and with the help of Facebook. Now, why just Facebook? That is because that was the most asked authentication on my channel. Okay, so let's just accept the terms and let's create our project. And it is creating now. This can take a while for you. It usually takes a few seconds for me. And we are ready. So let's click on continue now. And you will be presented with this get started by adding Firebase to your app. Now we want to create an iOS app. So we want to check this one. So click on that. And now we want to register our app. So let's grab our bundle ID and let's go and select our app and go to our target, general, and the bundle identifier. And I will just simply copy and paste that out into my field here. So let's paste that in. We are not going to add a nickname or an App Store ID because of course we haven't registered that in our App Store Connect, but that is optional. So let's hit register app here. And let's just wait for it. And now it asks us to download this Google service info plist file. So let's click on that and let's download it. Okay, it is downloaded. And now let's drag and drop it into our project. So I will just simply, let's add it up here. Okay, copy items is needed, create groups. Let's click on finish, and as you can see it appended two here, but we don't want that. If you are downloading several plist files like I did, then it will be added here. Just simply rename that and that should work fine. Okay, let's go back to our Chrome browser. Let's click on next. So it says that we should create a pod file with pod in it. We should add Firebase/core and we should run pod install. Now we already did that, and let me just show you what we do have in our pod file. Okay, we have Firebase core, auth, storage. Rather yet, let me just show you how we can make these to look even better. Okay, let me just go here and here we go, default YouTube dark, and let me close that. So we do have storage and Firestore too. We have the progress HUD, Facebook core and Facebook login, and SWIFTUI JSON because we need to handle some JSON with the Facebook login, and tiny constraints, which I will be talking about in a later lesson here in the Christmas calendar series. Now tiny constraints is just constraining views to their super views or just constraining our views. Okay, now let's go back to our Chrome browser. Let's click on next, and we want to import Firebase, and Firebase app configure should be added in the did finish launching with options function in the app delegate. Now we are not going to do that. We are going to skip this for now because we want to skip this step and go and set up other stuff in the console. We will code out in another lesson. So first of all, we want to enable authentication, database, and storage. But for authentication, let me just click on that. We want to set up a sign-in method, and we want to choose Facebook. Okay, now we want to enable it. But as you can see, we need an app ID, an app secret, and we want to add this OAuth redirect URI to our Facebook app configuration. So what we are going to do now is create a Facebook app. So let's create a new tab and go to developers.facebook.com. Okay. Now select my apps and let's add a new app here. So I will name this, let's see, Firestore auth. Okay, add your contact email and let's create our app ID. Let's confirm that I am not a robot and let's submit that. Okay, let's wait for it to be created. Now, that is it. What do you want to add now? Let's go to our dashboard. And let me just close this off. As you can see here, you can just scroll down and add a product, let's say a Facebook login. So let's set that up. And we want an iOS one. Okay, I want to choose Cocoapods because we have installed already our Facebook SDK with Cocoapods. So that's it. Well, here we have FB SDK login kit. Well, we are not going to use that. And that is because we need to, let's go ahead and we need the Swift SDK. So let me just add in here our bundle ID. So yet again, let's copy our bundle identifier and paste that in there. Click on save and then on continue. Okay, enable single sign-on, let's select yes, click on save and then next. And now we get these codes that we need to add into our info plist file. So let's copy this code out, go back to Xcode and select, well, rather yet, let's select info from here, not from up there. Okay, so right click on it and open as source code. Okay, and you will be presented with all of these source code stuff. So under dict, make sure that you have that put in here. Okay, simply paste that in there and we still have one left. So let's just scroll down, copy it out and go back to Xcode and paste it in and there. There we go. And as you can see, we added some Facebook IDs, bundle URL screens, Facebook app ID, and so on. So I will switch back on to opening as a property list, and you can see that here we have our, let me just show you, where do we have them? Here we go. If you just take a look even deeper, you will see what we have added. Okay, here we have our Facebook app ID and the schemes that we have added. Okay, let's go back to our Chrome and let's just scroll down. Yeah, we don't need the linker flag because we are not in Objective-C, and here we have some Objective-C code. We don't really need that because it is taken care of Spark, and you will see in a later video what I have added. Okay. Let's click on next and next, and we are ready. Okay, now let's go back to our dashboard, and I believe we should go to our settings because we need our app ID and our app secret. So let's go to settings and basic, I believe. Let's just wait for that. Here we go. We are going to select our app ID and add it to, let's first of all enable this and add it to our app ID field. Okay, let's go back and show our app secret. So add in your password here. Let me just select mine and copy out your app secret and paste it in there. Okay, now here you have a redirect URI. So click on this icon and copy it. And go back to the Firestore auth, select Facebook login and settings. Let me just scroll down here, and as you can see here we have our valid auth redirect URIs. So go ahead and paste it in there and make sure that you click on save changes down below. Okay, and that is it for our Facebook app. So let's go back to Firebase and click on save. And Facebook was enabled. Great. Now, what else do we have here? So now that we have Facebook enabled, we want to enable our database too and our storage. So let's start off with our database, and we are going to use Cloud Firestore. So click on Create Database, and we will start in test mode. Let's enable that, and it is setting up the security rules and so on. So it is creating our database. Okay, let's just wait for that, and we will continue to storage. There we go. We don't have anything in our database, and that is just fine. So let's click on storage now, and let's get started with storage. And we have here our security rules. That is fine. You will be able to change that later on. Now, that is it. We have created our Firebase app and our Facebook app too, and we have of course linked the login with Firebase in Firestore. Okay, so let's recap what we have done in this first tutorial. First of all, we have downloaded the starter project. Then we have added Spark to it, a little Spark to it, and we have created our Firebase app. We have created our Facebook app. We have linked them together. Of course, we have downloaded the Google Service Info plist file and added our necessary pods and installed them in our project. And we have added some info into our info plist file. Now that is it for today. We are going to go further in the next video. If you did like this one, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I dare you to hit that notification bell. And as always, I will see you in the next one.